Hello, welcome to the newspaper review. I am your host, Fatu George. On today's Voice newspaper headlines, lawmakers alarmed by gaps in government vehicle record. UDP condemns Pura's mobile data price fixing. Krubali calls for equal opportunities inclusion for disabled Gambian. Gambia, UN launched security sector reform drive to consolidate peace. NEA moves Gambia's Great Green Wall initiative to combat desertification. Driver gets 3-year jail term over Abuko school drifting case. Chinese doctors to do cataract surgery for over 200 patients in the Gambia. Now the news in detail. The vehicle controller at the State House, Farmara Sediba, told the National Assembly's Special Select Committee on Tuesday that his office did not maintain a single master file of all government vehicles. The vehicle controller at the State House, Farmara Sediba, told the National Assembly Special Select Committee on Tuesday that his office did not maintain a single master file of all government vehicles. Instead, he says vehicle records are kept separately by ministries, raising fresh questions about accountability in managing state assets. Sediba's testimony came through hearings on the sale and disposal of assets identified by the Jane Commission. Under questioning, Bah explained annual hard copy inventory which his office enters into a computer system. The physical documents are then stored in ministry-specific files. While this provides a record for each institution, it does not create a consolidated list of the entire government fleet. The United Democratic Party UDP has condemned the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority PURA, a recent decision to set a minimum floor price for mobile data services in the Gambia, describing it as reckless, unlawful and harmful to consumers. In a statement issued on Tuesday, the opposition party criticized PURA for undermining economic justice and the principles of a free market in a democratic society. PURA's mandate under Gambian law is to protect the interests of consumers while ensuring fair competition among service providers. Instead, PURA has acted to shield GSM companies, effectively legalizing exploitation at the expenses of the Gambian people, the UDP remarked. The UDP also questioned the role of the Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection Commission regarding this issue, warning that silence could be deeply concerning. The party called on PURA to immediately reverse the decision and consult with stakeholders, consumer groups, civil society, and the general public to ensure data remains affordable. The chairperson of Persons with Disabilities, Mohamed Krubali, has urged stakeholders across government and private sectors to promote inclusivity and ensure equal treatment for persons with disabilities. In an exclusive interview with The Voice, Principal Magistrate Krubali highlighted the daily challenges faced by persons with disabilities, including restricted access to finance, employment, public and private facilities, promotions, and other opportunities. He stresses that disability does not equate to inability and that persons with disabilities possess intelligence, skills, and potential equal to anyone else. Persons with disabilities are human beings with inherent dignity, fundamental rights and freedoms. Being disabled does not define us nor limit our future, Krubali said. He emphasized that societal and institutional barriers often prevent persons with disabilities from fully realizing their abilities and contributions. To illustrate the potential of persons with disabilities, Krubali references former Kenyan president, highlighting that success is available despite challenges posed by disability. He urged Gambians to end discrimination and recognize the talents and contributions of persons with disabilities. The government of the Gambia and UN agencies Tuesday opened a 2-day stakeholder engagement forum on security sector reform. This aimed at strengthening accountable, rights-based, and gender-responsive security institutions as part of Gambia's democratic transition. The meeting convened at the Senegambia Hotel by United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime under the UN Peace Building Fund project brings together representatives of government security institutions, oversight bodies, civil society, and academia to discuss strategies for implementing the 2023-2027 security sector reform strategy. Delivering the keynote address, Mulai Koli, Director of Monitoring and Coordinating at the Office of the National Security Advisor, underscored the historic significance of the reform process. He recalled how, during the 22-year rule of former President Yahya Jammeh, security institutions were used as instruments of repressions rather than protection, leaving deep scars of mistrust. A team of Heilongjiang doctors from the Republic of China will carry out cataract surgery for over 200 cataract patients in the Gambia, medical sources revealed. The surgery project marks a pivotal role in strengthening the health sector and collaboration between China and Gambia. The Chief Medical Director of Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, Dr. Mustafa Bide, acknowledged that Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital is the biggest hospital as it receives patients from the four corners of the country. We are delighted with the gesture by the Chinese team. The government has also played an important role in making sure that this team reached the country to assist the hospital with new system and the patients at large, he said. Head of Eye Unit at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, Pamudu Koli, underscored the importance of the project to enhance medical care and surgical excellence, particularly in the area of eye care system. The chairman of Brikama Area Council, Yankuba Dabo, has announced that he will not seek the United Democratic Party's UDP flag barrier position for the 2026 presidential election. Dabo's statement comes days after the UDP opened applications for party members interested in contesting for the flag barrier position. In a Facebook post, Dabo reaffirmed his earlier pledge that he would not contest if party leader Ousainou Dabo decided to run. My words are my bond. I promise not to seek UDP flag barrier seat if lawyer Dabo is seeking it. And since he has announced his intention to run, I wish to notify you all that I will not be applying, he wrote. Lawyer Ousainou Dabo, the current UDP leader, had earlier confirmed his intention to lead the party in the 2026 elections. Other potential candidates, including Landing B. Sane, chairman of the Mansakonko Area Council, Rohi Malik Low, mayor of Banjul City Council, and Lamin Sane, former OIC boss, have yet to make public statements regarding their intentions for the party's flag barrier seat. In sports, the Gambia Football Federation GFF has kicked off a nationwide scouting mission to identify promising talent for the national under-17 team. Beginning in the North Bank region, over 70 young players from football academies in Eshau and surrounding areas participated in an interactive session with the scouting team. The scouting team, led by head coach Yahya Mane and accompanied by his backroom staff, is expected to conclude its activities in the North Bank later this afternoon with a similar session scheduled for players around Farafenni at 4:30 p.m. at the Farafenni Mini Stadium, the GFF confirmed. According to the GFF, the tour will allow the under-17 technical team to engage with TDS players in each region, helping to strengthen youth development pathways across the country. Moving on to the standard newspaper headlines, GSM operators urge to promote validity expiry on data credits. UDP explains dual citizenship criteria in flag barrier application process. I can tell Jammeh's vehicles from those of government. Lawyer J. Dabo denies being hired by UDP to defend PIU shooting suspect. Pura gets pushed back over intervention on data pricing. Leeds Mayor honors Gambia's King of Kora with City Shield. 7 youths remanded for common nuisance at Kololi Tavern. Now the news in detail. In the latest of his regular audio on the burning issues of the day, business tycoon and politician Panjai Jirijara has come out strongly against the practice of validity expiry dates on data and credits purchased from GSM operators in the Gambia. According to Girigara, this practice is not only illegal but also unfair to consumers. There should be no validity time for data or credit because whatever you pay for, it's yours, and the person you bought it from has no right to take it from you because you paid for it. Legally speaking, even if the consumer takes them to court, he or she will win. Njai warned the GSM operators. According to Njai, GSM companies' argument that validity expiry period on data or credit help them free up space on their servers is not reasonable. This is not the consumer's problem, but rather the service provider's responsibility to ensure they have enough space to store the data. What you can keep, don't sell it. So we will fight the legal matter that is here, he observed. Lamin Mane, the Deputy Secretary of External Affairs of the main opposition United Democratic Party, has clarified queries raised by prominent lawyer Lamin J. Dabo about the party's flag barriers selection process. On Sunday, lawyer J. Dabo confirmed to the Standard that he had intended to apply for the UDP flag barrier position, but because of certain conditions requiring applicants to renounce their dual citizenship within 14 days, the door is shut on him. The controller of government vehicles, Famara Sediba, yesterday told the National Assembly Special Committee investigating the disposal of former President Yahya Jammeh's assets that he cannot differentiate vehicles owned by former President Jammeh and those belonging to the government. He said this in response to a question asking how he differentiated vehicles belonging to the former president from that of the state. He continued, Sediba revealed that vehicles of the former president were under the control of the state guards and that he is only involved when they want to register a vehicle or to transfer ownership. The Public Utility Regulatory Authorities, PURA, has come under fire from both the main opposition United Democratic Party and activist Madi Jobate following its latest decision to fix a floor price for data. However, according to Jobate, Pura has failed to live up to its mandate by prioritizing the interests of businesses over those of consumers. If GSM companies are engaged in a cutthroat traffic competition which has lowered costs for customers, one would think that Pura would rather insist that these companies enhance their quality and allow the price to go down. But seeking to stop the tariff competitions means Pura is only interested in securing profit by GSM companies and not quality and cost for consumers, the activist said. Lawyer Lamin J. Dabo, the legal counsel representing Usainu Bojang, who is standing trial for the alleged killing of 2 PIU officers, has denied allegations made by one Mama Jabi, a state witness in the case, that he was paid by the opposition UDP to represent Usainu. Jabi, the third prosecution witness in the case, made allegation against the UDP in a viral audio claiming that they had a hand in the killing of the officers and also hired the service of lawyer J. Dabo to represent the alleged killer. Speaking to the Standard, Lamin J. Dabo said the allegation is absolutely untrue. I was not paid by UDP. In fact, UDP never contacted me, and they don't know anything about Usainu's case, the lawyer said. He said he is only got involved in the case when the family of Usainu said they would not accept a lawyer from the state, which was under obligation to give him a lawyer. One Malik Baji was yesterday sentenced to 3 years imprisonment with hard labor by the Bundung Magistrates Court for his involvement in a dangerous car drifting incident at Abuko School that left a grade 6 student seriously injured. The court also ordered Baji to pay $1 million in compensation to the victim. Should he fail to make the payment, he will serve an additional 2-year prison term. The sentencing came after Baji pleaded guilty to a charge of reckless and negligent act in violation of the Criminal Offences Act 2025. The incident, which drew national outrage, occurred earlier this year when Baji was captured on video performing high-speed drifts near the school premises during school hours, resulting in the vehicle hitting Ba, who was on school ground at the time. Magistrate Ture of the Kanifing Court yesterday remanded 7 youths from Kololi Tavern at Mile 2 for common nuisance. The accused persons are Mulamin Cham, Oman Bay, Musa Bojang, Jibi Kamara, Sajo Dabo, Lamin Diba, and Pabi Jame. They were stamped with a single count charge of common nuisance. The police alleged that the accused person on the 16th August at Kololi Tavern obstructed or caused annoyance, danger, and inconvenience to the public. All the accused persons pleaded not guilty to the charge. Police prosecutor Sergeant E.M. Jallo sought for adjournment to enable him to call witness and pushed for the youths to be remanded to prevent them from continuing their activities in the community. He explained that the police had received series of complaints from the inhabitants of the area. The matter is adjourned to 3rd September. Now to the 4 newspaper headline. Gamcel management breaks silence on privatization and staff unrest. Gambia surpasses global target on exclusive breastfeeding, but urban mothers struggles. Katong VDC tussle persists despite area council ruling. Accused person stranded as Brikama court lacks magistrates. Government initiates new process to resolve Gunjur Katong and Branding land controversy. Gambians on edge as US threatens new travel ban in August. 4 years after Disability Act, Gambians with disability still faced old struggles. Now the news in detail. US considers visa ban on the Gambia over deportations. Gambian families abroad fear separations and hardship Banjul under pressure to respond to US demands. The first whispers of trouble began circulating on community WhatsApp groups in late May. By early June, alarm bells were ringing across government offices and diaspora families. The United States had issued a 60-day warning that the Gambia, along with 35 other nations, could face new visa restrictions and travel bans if it failed to meet stringent identity verification and immigration control benchmarks. The internal U.S. State Department memo, first reported by the Washington Post and signed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, set the clock ticking. Unless the Gambia upgrades its civil registry system, cooperates more fully with U.S. deportation orders, and reduces visa overstays by mid-August, its citizens may find themselves barred from entering the United States regardless of intent, status, or circumstances. The management of Gamcel and its subsidiary Gamcel has spoken publicly for the first time on the government's privatization drive following months of staff protests, allegations of mismanagement, and growing unrest within the state-owned telecom giants. In an exclusive interview with Fourier on Monday, 19th August 2025, Gamcel's general manager, Mrs. Fatou Fati, clarified issues surrounding restructuring, staff layoffs, and entitlements. She insisted that management's priority is to ensure transparency and fairness for all employees affected by the ongoing transition. On the controversial issues of credit union and social security contribution, Mrs. Fati admitted that deductions were made but not remitted due to financial constraints. It was a difficult decision, but we prioritize salaries. Records of deductions are intact and no staff will leave without their full entitlements, she promised. The government has launched a new process to resolve the ongoing boundary dispute between Gunjur, Katong, and Berending Village in Kombo South District, West Coast Region, following mounting tensions and weekend protests by people of Katong. The initiative was announced after a closed-door meeting chaired by Governor Usman Bojang on Tuesday, 19th August 2025 at the Governor's office in Brikama Town. The Katong community over the weekend staged a demonstration against the ongoing demarcation, claiming the exercise affected their ancestral lands. Residents argued that Gunjur was established long after Katong and Sanyang shared borders, placing Gunjur between them. They also claimed that the settlers of Berending are originally given the land by Katong and criticized the demarcation exercise as non-consultative. The minister confirmed that ongoing paging exercise will continue, but any adjustment recommended by the committee will take precedence. Villages were instructed to submit all relevant court documents to aid the review. Fourier understands that the Director of Physical Planning was also present. 4 years after the Gambia passed the Persons with Disabilities Act 2021, designed to safeguard inclusion and human rights, many deaf and hard of hearing Gambians say the promises of the law remain largely unfulfilled. The act, a piece of legislation assented to by the President, was hailed at the time as a landmark step toward equality, recognizing sign language and mandating access to education, healthcare, and employment. But the reality, according to disability advocates, is that all struggles continue with little progress on implementation. Sign language has been our problem ever since, and it's the only communication channel between the deaf people and the hearing, said Dudu Lum, Executive Director of the Gambia Association of the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. He argued that lack of recognition for sign language remains the biggest barrier, cutting deaf Gambians off from education, health services, employment, and even transportation. As the world marks World Breastfeeding Week, which in the Gambia is observed as World Breastfeeding Month, nutrition experts say the Gambia has achieved remarkable progress in exclusive breastfeeding, but warn that cultural myths, urban lifestyle pressures, and workplace barriers still threaten the practice. Mr. Malang N. Fofana, the Director General of the National Nutrition Agency, NANA, said this year's theme is very apt and underscores the need to build sustainable systems that support women to breastfeed optimally. So in terms of policy, what we are trying to do, especially because of this year's theme, is to talk to institutions and policy makers to create what we call creches, he said, a place where women will put their children around them while they are either doing business or some work, and somebody will take care of them. We are advocating for the creation of creches around markets, workplace, lumos, and business centers so that women can work properly. Brikama Magistrate Court has been paralyzed by a shortage of magistrates, leaving dozens of cases unattended and accused persons stranded. Since Friday, August 15, 2025, only one magistrate, Aissatou Odabo, has appeared in court, a situation that persisted through Tuesday, August 19. Many litigants who arrived for their hearings were told instead to go and take a date from the clerk. The Brikama Magistrate Court, the busiest court in the Western Division, handles a heavy docket of land disputes, civil claims, and criminal cases. According to information gathered, Principal Magistrate Anna O. Mende traveled to China for a 2-week official mission. Magistrate Fofana left for the United States to pursue his master's degree, and Magistrate K. Sambu has been absent since Friday following the death of his wife. Magistrate Dem, who was transferred from Bundung Magistrate Court back to Brikama, has yet to report to assume his duties. The Gambia Police Force has launched an investigation into the alleged rape of a 12-year-old girl in Seregila village, Tumana District, Upper River Region. According to Cadet Assistant Superintendent Modu Musa Sisawa, Public Relations Officer of the Gambia Police Force, the incident was reported on 14 August 2025, with police in Fatoto responding promptly. The young victim is currently receiving medical treatment at Basse Hospital. Police have identified the suspect as Mamadou Saliu Dambele, a farmer in his 30s from Seregile village, who is currently at large. Law enforcement officials have intensified efforts to locate and apprehend Dambele, and a case file has been opened as investigations continue. The police strongly urge the public to provide any information that may assist in the arrest of the suspect, stated PRO Sisao. He reaffirmed the Gambia Police Force's commitment to protecting vulnerable persons and ensuring justice is served. Rape and sexual violence remain critical concerns in the Gambia, with both legal and societal dimensions, although laws are in place to safeguard women and children in the Gambia. Magistrate Ismaila Diba of Bundung Magistrate Court has issued a stern warning to all drivers and drifters against reckless and dangerous driving, following a drifting case involving Malik Baji, accused, and Abdurrahman Bah, victim. Delivering judgment, Magistrate Diba emphasized that the Gambia is governed by laws which must be respected by all regardless of age, gender, or societal status. The magistrate stressed that the legal system is committed to ensuring safety on roads and protecting the most vulnerable members of society. Now to the point newspaper headlines. U.S. appoints new Deputy Chief of Mission to Gambia. GPPA, GAM works team up to boost transparency in public procurement. Witness says ex-President Jammeh gave 33 government vehicles to APRC. Tango urges judiciary to introduce clear sentencing on FGM. Now the news in detail. The United States has appointed Robert Anderson as a new Deputy Chief of Mission to the Republic of the Gambia, according to dispatch from the Gambian Embassy in Washington, D.C. Robert Anderson was also received by His Excellency Mamadou Lamin Bah, Ambassador of the Republic of the Gambia to the United States of America at the Embassy in Washington, D.C. Ambassador Bah extended congratulations to Deputy Chief of Missions Anderson and wished him success in his tour of duty and assured him of his collaboration and support to further strengthen relations between the two friendly countries. Ambassador Bah seized the opportunity to brief Deputy Chief of Mission Anderson on the Gambia's national development agenda and the interest in the country has in attracting investment from the United States. He appealed for the support of the United States in consolidating democracy, human rights, and smooth execution of the transitional justice process. He raised the issue of immigration with the specific emphasis on visa restrictions placed on the country. In a start-line revolution, Famara Sedi Bah, the government vehicle controller at the office of the president, has alleged that former President Yahya Jammeh distributed 33 vehicles purchased by the government to the Alliance for Patriotic Reorientation and Construction, APRC. Testifying before the National Assembly Select Committee probing the sale and disposal of assets flagged by the Jammeh Commission, Sedi Bah disclosed that in 2016, 33 government-owned pickup trucks that was procured from TK Motors are delivered to State House, were labeled APRC 1 to APRC 33. The vehicles were brought to State House and regional governors were summoned to collect them, he revealed. Sedi Bah explained that he was initially unaware the vehicles had been purchased by the government. I later came to know that the vehicles belonged to the government when TK Motors submitted a claim that provided an inventory. During the verification exercise, I confirmed that the vehicles distributed to APRC were indeed government property, he said. In conclusion, the witness stated that whenever an unauthorized government vehicle is found in a location where it is not supposed to be, his office writes to the head of the relevant department to address the matter. Sedi Bah is scheduled to reappear before the Commission on 27 August 2025. The Association of the Non-Governmental Organizations in the Gambia, TANGO, has issued a compelling appeal to the judiciary to develop and enforce robust sentencing guidelines for female genital mutilation and related gender-based violence cases. This urgent call comes after a month-old infant died in connection with FGM. The association in a press release expressed its deepest sorrow and condemnation following the death of a 1-month-old baby as a result of FGM, thus urging the judiciary to apply the established sentencing guidelines for all FGM-related cases and sexual and gender-based violence offenses without fear or favor. This horrifying incident, which has shaken our nation, is an unacceptable violation of human rights and a gross act of violence against an innocent child, it stated. Tango emphasized that FGM is outlawed in the Gambia under the Women's Amendment Act 2015, which specifically bans the practice of FGM in all its forms, making this tragedy not only a moral outrage but also a clear breach of the law. The association warned that FGM is not only deeply harmful and outdated practice, it is also a criminal offense under Gambian law. It has no medical, religious, or cultural justification and causes severe physical and psychological harm, often with lifelong consequences. In a bid to strengthen climate resilience of vulnerable communities and ecosystems to the impact of climate change, the National Environment Agency, NEA, with funding from Global Environment Facility, has validated $12 million climate change project dubbed Climate Resilient Biennial Initiative. The event that took place at the Sadauda Kairaba Conference Center brought together representatives from government ministries, NGOs, UN agencies, the private sector and regional governors with the aim of reviewing and endorsing the project document before full-scale implementation. Speaking at the opening, Dr. Dauda Baji, Executive Director of the National Environment Agency and Gambia's operational focal point for the Global Environment Facility, stressed the urgency of addressing climate vulnerabilities in urban areas. He noted that the CLIMB project, valued at $12 million and funded by the GEF through the United Nations Environment Programme, is the first of its kind to be implemented in Africa. This project is a challenge for all of us, Baji said. It is either we do it and raise the bar or we miss the opportunity. National climate change policy, while placing community voices at the center of adaptation strategies, stakeholders at the workshop, including UN Development Program, local government representatives and international consultants, commended the initiative as a timely intervention to protect vulnerable communities. As validation moves forward, the project is expected to serve as a model for other African countries, positioning the Gambia at the forefront of innovative climate resilience efforts. The Gambia Public Procurement Authority, GPPA, and the Gambian Agency for the Management of Public Works have signed a memorandum of understanding aimed at strengthening transparency, efficiency, and accountability in the country's public procurement system. The agreement, signed at the GPPA headquarters in Serekunda, grants GAMWorks the authority to carry out delegated management contracts and public procurement without seeking prior approval for the GPPA at every stage of the process. This delegation is in line with Section 37 of the Gambia Public Procurement Authority Act 2022, which empowers the GPPA to authorize procurement agents that have successfully undergone a capacity assessment. Under the terms of the MOU, GAMWorks is required to strictly follow procurement procedures outlined in the Act and its accompanying regulations. Furthermore, all procuring organizations must seek prior approval from GPPA before engaging GAMWorks for delegated management contracts. In sports, the Gambia women's national team have gone on a weekend break after completing another intensive series of training programs designed by head coach Mariama Bomsow. The sessions are aimed at boosting the players' fitness, hone their skills, and prepare them for the crucial clash against Kenya in the AFCON qualifiers in October 2025. Over the past week, the team engaged in gym sessions focusing on improving their body strength and conditioning. They resumed training on Monday, 18 August 2025 at the Usman Saho football field in Old Yundum. Real de Banjul will play against West Coast Region selection in a friendly match on Saturday, 23rd August 2025 at the Brikama Box Bar Mini Stadium at 4 p.m. Cork Football Academy on Thursday defeated Lion FC 2-1 in the 2025 Brufut Nawetan qualifier match played at the Brufut Strasta football field. The victory earns Gilcock Football Academy a spot in the next round of the Brufut rainy season biggest football jambur qualifiers. Gilcock Football Academy will scuffle to win their remaining qualifier matches to snatch a place in the 2025-2026 Brufut Nawetan season. The defeat saw Lion FC out of the Brufut Nawetan qualifiers. The Lion will now hang their boots until next season following their elimination from the Brikama Nawetan qualifiers. FC Luka beat Sotoko United FC 4-2 on post-match penalty shootouts after regular time ended goalless to cruise to the next round of the Brufut Nawetan qualifiers. Sotoko United FC missed the chance to advance to the next round of the Brufut Nawetan qualifiers after losing to FC Luka in their qualifier match. This is all we have for you in our today's newspaper headlines. Do stay tuned with us for more newspaper review, and please don't forget to subscribe, like and share our videos. I remain your host, Fatu George.